Hello, it's George Hogue here again with another video lesson on the subject of leadership with some thoughts and ideas from Mr. Peter Drucker as well as myself. Today we're going to talk about how organizations fall down and how leaders can prevent this from happening. One of the first and foremost things that leaders do is they make sure that their team understands their priorities. Leaders must communicate their priorities to their team. Quote from Mr. Drucker: "Unless commitment is made, there are only promises and hopes, but no plans." Organizations fall down when they have to guess what the boss is working at. The boss has to continually say, "This is what I'm focusing on." Another quote from Mr. Drucker: "Trying to predict the future is like trying to drive down a country road at night with no lights while looking in the back window." Leaders cannot put their organization in a position that that's happening. Leaders have to continually say, "This is what I'm focusing on." They have to continually ask, "What are you focusing on?" Very simple conversation should take place on a regular basis between leaders / managers and the people that they're leading or managing. The leader looks at the followers' priority list and says, "You put this on the top of your priority list. Why? Tell me why this is a top priority for you." After that discussion, the leader should say, this is what I think we discussed. And this is what I think we decided. And this is what I think you committed yourself to within a specific time frame. If that's all correct, then the final statement by the leader or manager is, "What do you expect from me as you seek to achieve your goals?" Another quote from Mr. Drucker: "A manager is responsible for the application and performance of knowledge." Key point. Excuse me. Let's talk a bit about the transition from an entrepreneur to a company CEO. And it's just, I'm not talking about giant corporations necessarily. It could be a single person, such as my son, who was an entrepreneur, still is, but now has a little bigger organization. It's not humongous, definitely a small company by any standards. But what are the key things that have to be done in this transition? Well, the first thing is leaders, managers, I don't care who you are, don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself. That's what makes you successful. You cannot be somebody else. Secondly, don't take on things you don't believe in. As an entrepreneur or the leader of a company, do not take on projects, missions, companies, whatever, that you don't believe in. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to succeed. Another big item, I think we mentioned this before in our earlier lesson, learn how to say no. Leaders have to learn how to say no. You cannot be everything to everyone all the time. Finally, effective leaders match the objective needs of their company with the subjective competencies. Effective leaders match the objective needs of their company with the subjective competencies. In other words, with what they've got in the way of people, resources, etc. So how do capable leaders blow it? How are some true leaders how is it possible that they can blow it and their organization or their company fails? Well, first off, they're weak on financial matters. A weak leader, a weak manager on financial matters is doomed for failure. It's a good time, if you're not good at financial stuff, to find somebody who is and employ them or use them as a consultant. Leaders fall because they try to be an expert in everything. Never try to be an expert if you're not. If you're not an expert in something, don't try to be one. Another quote from Mr. Drucker. Time is the scarcest resource, and unless it is managed, nothing else can be managed. Don't try to be an expert on something that you're not. Build on your strengths, your individual strengths. This pertains to leaders, managers, followers, everybody. I'm talking to everybody here. Build on your strengths. Next point, find strong people to do the other task. Find strong people. Surround yourself with people who are good at the other things that are necessary to run a business. There's a successful leader. In other words, bottom line, good leader will delegate. They'll find somebody who's an expert in an area that they're not. They'll find strong people. They'll let them do the other necessary tasks, and they will delegate. A final quote from Mr. Drucker for today. Today, knowledge has power. It controls access to opportunity and advancement. Well, that's what we're all about here at Business English Conversation. Helping you gain knowledge. Knowledge about business, all aspects of it. Not necessarily to make you experts, but to make you aware and knowledgeable about all business functions. From leadership to management all the way down to the mailroom. And we're also here to help you with your communication skills, which are key in understanding all aspects of an organization and moving yourself through the ranks of the organization. Business English. Very important. If your business or your job requires you to converse, communicate, interact in English. So we're getting there. This was number 3. I think I said we had 4 or 5. Well, I guarantee you we've got 4. I know that. And I believe that there will be a 5th lesson on leadership. This is a precursor sort of to some material that's being developed that will be our 2nd lesson set series that we will offer. And leadership management are the key elements to that program or set of programs. So until next time, keep watching for the letters from us, and we'll have another lesson, 2 more lessons on leadership. Wrap this thing up, talking about a little more in detail each time. We'll see you next time.